Hi everyone, Happy New Year! Welcome to A Beer with Brad, episode 59. Tonight we're going to go over my top 10 favorite photos from 2025, but first let's talk about the beer. Tonight I'm having an Artistic Flair. It's a hazy IPA from Corn Coast Brewing Company. Corn Coast, I've had them on before, but their brewery is down in Lincoln, and then they have, in the last several months, opened a tap room in Omaha. They're probably best known for all their hazy IPAs, which here's a double hazy IPA. But they also have a lot of other styles that I've really enjoyed from there. Most recent one, besides the hazy IPA, was they had an ESB, and it was fantastic. Back in the day, ESB was probably one of my favorite beers before I really got into IPAs, and this ESB was really a really good beer. So, Artistic Flair double hazy IPA, double dry hopped, double hazy IPA. And one thing I've noticed on their cans, and maybe it's always been there and I just noticed, or it's new, I don't know, but it says painstakingly brewed 5 barrels at a time. And that's a pretty small craft brewery. A lot of the small ones I would say are 3 to 5. There were some around here that got a lot bigger, but I know over in Council Bluffs or in Glenwood, Iowa, Cake Creek Brewing, they started out as a 3-barrel system, went to a 40-barrel system for a couple years, and now they're back to a 3-barrel system. So that for as much beer as Corn Coast is putting out, it's interesting to see that they're doing it 5 barrels at a time, which is good because it always keeps the beer fresh and rotating, and especially with them doing different styles all the time, it's everything I had from there has been fantastic. They also have another one I picked up at the same time. This is a hazy IPA, so double dry hop, double hazy, just a regular hazy IPA. This is called the South Bend Shovel Slayer, which is also a really good beer. Not too much different than the Artistic Flair, but both great beers from Corn Coast Brewing, tap room down in La Vista. I've always tried to support all the local breweries and local bottle shops, and over the past several months, the economy is probably not as great as it was, just a year ago. So I've really doubled down on trying to actually get my beers from locally owned bottle shops, or from the actual. Most of them have come from the brewery themselves. So I'll get beers from the Casual Pint right up the street, great local place, love to support them. And then pretty much been going to Monolithic, Cross Strain, Pint 9, Corn Coast, and Lumen, picking up my beer just straight from the source, and kind of cutting out the middleman. So it's kind of a way I've been trying to support local just a little bit more than normal. Still have some national beers from time to time, and like I got the Bourbon Counties not that long ago, and those are always delicious. But and one other thing, supporting local, Lovely Brewing in Ralston, Nebraska opened, and I wasn't able to get anything from them in time for this video, but I did go stop by the brewery. Nice place, and they had really. I did a flight, 4 different beers, and they were all great. My favorite one was probably the Porter, and then they also had a rye IPA, which is not always my favorite style of IPA, but this rye IPA was really good. Sometimes I think I've had so many New England hazy IPAs anymore that when I drink something outside of that, I think it's good because it's maybe just a refreshing change of pace. But all in all, great brewery, cool little place. They're just getting going. The brewer was there. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I heard him talking to some other people at the bar, and they have big plans, but they're taking their baby steps, getting the place going, and it's a neat little place right on the main street of downtown Ralston. So go check it out if you get time. So let me take another drink before we get started here. Tonight I'm going to go over my 10 favorite photos of 2025. It's the new year, time to look back at what I was able to accomplish this year. A few notes. I'm going to show you these in order. The first one started in March, the last one is in December. And I do not have any sports photos in here. I do not have any wildlife photos in here. I could make a top 10 sports and a top 10 wildlife on their own. But tonight I'm just focusing on cityscapes, landscapes, stuff like that. I love getting out in nature, doing wildlife photos, and I have a blast when I'm photographing sporting events. But you know, these cityscapes, landscapes, that's kind of what I've always liked. That's been my primary focus for so long. So it's kind of fun to look back at just like one section of it. You know, a lot of people know that I do a lot of railroad photography, and this year's been so busy. I don't think I took but 2 or 3 pictures of a train all year. So none of those made my top 10, and I couldn't make a video on that. But go ahead and get started here. There are some really cool wildlife photos in my day one Colorado trip video that's going to come out the week after this. So the first, let's see, probably the Thursday the 7th, I believe, is when the first Colorado day one will come out. There's some really cool elk photos in there. So if you want wildlife, just hang on one more week and you'll get those. So the first photo here is in March, and it is the Omaha skyline taken from Abbott Drive. This is a classic scene that I have photographed so many times over the years. It's a really cool view. I really liked how the lines lead into the city with the headlights. You got to get out there when there's a lot of cars. The springtime works good because the sunset's earlier, you know, so you still have a lot of traffic. And then this one kind of features, not very prominent yet, but it will be the next time I go down there, is on the left side, just left of that street light. You have the new Mutual Omaha Tower going up. So it'd be a neat addition to the scene. I might try some different compositions a little bit too. There's a few things I don't like. This scene has really changed over the years. The median in the middle, all the trees are gone, so now you just have a big warning sign in kind of in the middle where it used to be hidden by trees. The brickwork's kind of fallen apart a little bit, and then just don't know that I love that street light there with the new tower going up. Before, when it was just in the middle of the sky, it was pretty cool, or it was pretty. It just didn't really interfere. Now I think it's going to interfere a little bit more, but we'll see how it goes. We'll get out there this spring and give it a whirl, see what I got. It's funny because, you know, I've posted these pictures all over the internet. A lot of the Mutual of Omaha construction pictures have been used over and over on Grow Omaha, and I hear a lot of people, how come you never take any pictures of it from the north looking down towards the city? Well, this is from the northeast, and I take it all the time. So I don't know if it just people aren't seeing it or what, but just a cool view of the city here. Next picture here was taken in April, and this is kind of a classic shot down at the Heartland of America Park. And the couple things I like about this one is, you know, they tore out the old ConAgra headquarters building that was back there, and at night that building just turned into a really dark blob. And they've replaced that with this new Brickline building, and the Brickline building has tons of lights, and they had white lights around the roof, and it just really added to the scene, kind of made it a little more going on back there instead of a big dark wall. As this development kind of starts to fill in to the left side, this picture is going to become even more interesting over time. And then again, you have the Mutual Omaha Tower climbing up there on the side. Be interesting, might move around just a little bit to try to compose that, to keep a little bit of separation between the First National Tower and the Mutual Omaha Tower, but always have fun going down there with this fountain. Fountain's not as tall and colorful as it used to be, but still neat to go photograph, especially in the evening, right when you're at the blue hour. Had some pretty interesting clouds, little popcorn clouds that night too. We're going to skip over May and go right to June. In June, this was the fireworks, and I believe I have shown this at least one other time in the Beer with Brad videos, but just a shot looking straight down, straight to the east off the 10th Street Bridge. Had the big Kaneko sculpture in the background. American flag was sticking out nicely because of the wind. You have the lights, those traditional, or not traditional, the classic lights that have been in the Gene Leahy Mall since I was a little kid, since it opened pretty much. Really cool shot, just kind of like the symmetry of it, the way it all frames in there, and then got some decent reflections of the Kaneko, and then the water gets a little bit choppy as it gets back towards the bridge, but still made for a really nice reflection there. And then we're going to go to June. or June, July. That last one was June. July. Here's a picture of the Brick Line building, and I was just talking about the Brick Line from the other angle. That lake that was 2 pictures before this is behind this building. So I picked this one. This, most people would say, well, why did you pick that? It's not interesting. It's just a boring brick building. But I love the light coming off of it. And for those of you that have been around Omaha forever, this is kind of where the Conagra welcome, or the, I don't even know if it's a welcome to Conagra, but it just had a big Conagra headquarters sign. There was a Chef Boyardee sculpture out there, some overgrown bushes and stuff. But just the interest this building has added to that corner, and then all the way the light, the shadows and highlights are playing off each other with all the different faces of that building. I just really, the light really made this building jump out. And I like how empty and peaceful it was. A lot of times you'll go down here and you'll look and there'll be cars all the way down that street. But for whatever reason this morning the street was wide open. This was at sunrise in July, so it was probably pretty darn early in the morning. But it's just a really neat scene. I really like the way the light comes in and works off the building. So that's why I added it as one of my 10 favorites of this year. From the same morning is a picture you've already seen once, and maybe it was in the last one of the last couple Beer with Brads, is the duo wide angle shot looking up at the Mutual of Omaha Tower. I like, again, the symmetry of this one. I like how you're looking up at the duo sign and you can see all of the new Mutual of Omaha Tower. Just, it was a fun, interesting picture. Like I said, the World Herald did a very similar picture. Chris from the World Herald did a very similar picture this a few months later, except for he turned around and he was facing the duo and leaned back to get the Mutual of Omaha, so his duo sign wasn't upside down. But just a neat picture. Again, early in the morning, there's some nice shadows and reflections off some of this, a lot of contrast. And I think one of the things I've been working more with in 2025 that I really enjoyed, it maybe doesn't come out in some of these pictures here in my top 10, but on a lot of things that I've been kind of playing with, I don't know why. I mean, I've been into photography since 1997. 1995. I took my first photography class at Westside High School in the fall of '95. So I've known about shadows and contrast and all that for 30 some years now. But well, maybe not quite 30, 28. But I don't know. This year it's like I started seeing things a little bit different, making shadows and contrast work together, and not being, for a long time I just wanted there to be detail everywhere. I want all the shadows to have tons of detail in them, and lately I've been realizing that black is kind of cool and it adds to a photo, and when the photo's not completely overexposed, you do get some more cool colors, warmer tones and stuff. So it's been a good year for that, for me to grow in that kind of way. So just another fun photo. Like I said, this was my 10mm lens, so widest lens I've ever owned. It's been fun playing with it. So we're going to skip August and September and jump to October to Colorado. And this is from the first day of my Colorado fall photography trip of 2025. Like I said, that video comes out the week after this, Beer with Brad. So beginning of January, look for Colorado Day 1. The thing I liked about this one was when I got into the park, it had snowed overnight. Everything was coated in snow, but then the clouds were breaking. The sun was coming in. So this one, the foreground has a lot of nice textures. And then as you start to go back, you still have the clouds and the mist and the snow, and just kind of makes like a surreal scene. And the thing I liked about this one, I had another one that had a little bit of a different composition, a different foreground element, but this, I really liked this dead pine tree here, kind of on the right, third. Just the contrast, the hardness between that and like the soft clouds and trees above it, it really stood out, and I just kind of like the way that kind of broke up the scene a little bit. Really cool morning. If I could have paused that morning for 2 or 3 days, I mean, I could have wandered around taking pictures for days. It was so awesome. But great scene, great morning. Morning I won't ever forget. Great time out there in Rocky Mountain National Park. And I think I mentioned a little bit, this was also during the shutdown. I got out there not knowing if I would even be allowed into the park. And not only was I allowed in the park, it was go do whatever you want. There's no restrictions, basically. I mean, there's no timed entry, no, you don't have to have certain tickets for certain areas of the park. You were able just to go in, and it was beautiful. From the same trip, this is a photo from just outside of Ridgway, Colorado. And it's an area I've been to so many times, and I've never really gone away happy with photos I had from there. And in the past, I've tried to shoot them super wide. I've tried to shoot panoramics. And this day, I just kind of focused on one group of trees, Mount Sneffels, a little bit around it. And we had some pretty awesome clouds that came in that morning. And so I have the trees in the foreground are just really vibrant gold. The sunlight, direct sunlight is hitting those aspens, just blasting them and making them real nice and bright. And then you got clouds that are creating shadows all over the pine trees and back. And then broken clouds are creating spotlights all over Mount Sneffels. So you got holes really lighting up on Mount Sneffels, which is adding a real cool textured element to it. Only thing I would wish I could have had different on this was maybe in that foreground a little snow on the pasture or something, but just kind of change it up a little bit. But overall, really cool. And I don't know that maybe this isn't the best picture ever, but just when you've gone to a place so many times, and actually when we were in Colorado 3-4 years ago, I said I'd never need to go back to this spot again because I was just sure there was never anything there that I was going to get a good photo of. And then here we go this morning. Got a great photo, or a photo that I'm really happy with. So when the Colorado videos come out, this will probably be day 4, I believe. So watch for that one. I think I get a little excited that morning. And then the same thing happens that night. We go to a spot that night I've also been to a lot. Don't want to be a spoiler here, but that sunset shoot was really good too, and for a lot of the same kind of reasons, where they've just been there so many times, it's never worked out. I knew that spot had a lot of possibilities, but it finally all started to come together for this trip. So it was good to see. Next, we're going to go to November and an aerial photo I took of downtown Omaha. Now, I took tons of aerial photos. Most of them were for work, but every time I'm up, even when I'm doing stuff for work, I always make one quick lap around downtown, because when you're shooting a work project in Midtown and then you're going to Bellevue, it's one lap around downtown adds, a minute or 2 to your helicopter flight. So when you're up there for 4 hours, 1 or 2 minutes, it's not a big deal. So I always swing around, no matter what I'm doing. Even if I was shooting for a client, if it was anywhere remotely near downtown, I would always swing around downtown and get a shot. This one's a little bit different. I just like to look up the park. The trees were looking really nice. A lot of red trees along the right side of the park. Mutual Omaha Tower is really coming along. There are so many different angles that I took as we circled that I could have picked any one of them, but this one's just a little bit different than what I've typically shot in the past, so just thought I would include this one here. The others could be my favorites too, but this year, this picture was my favorite from down there circling the park. Next one is also in November, and that is my son and I doing a self-portrait looking at the northern lights. How we did this is I got the camera all set up, did a few northern light photos, just doing some test exposures, and then I told him where to go stand. I would make sure he was in the frame where I wanted, and then I'd hit the 10-second timer on the camera shutter, and I'd run out, put my arm around him, and we'd stand there and try to hold. We were freezing, but we'd try to hold as still as we could and wait till we heard the camera click, and then we had our northern lights photo. And if you're wondering why we were cold, because we're at his hockey practice. I was at the hockey rink and then saw a couple people on Twitter say that the northern lights were visible pretty close to us. And one was even in like an urban area. So I went outside the hockey rink with my cell phone, and I took a picture of the northern sky in the middle of the city from the hockey rink with my cell phone, and you could totally plain as day see the northern lights on the cell phone. And he got off the ice, and I said, "We're going for a ride." He goes, "Where?" And I said, "North." And we got there. He loved it. He thought it was the coolest thing. Now he's also spoiled now because, I mean, that was maybe a once in a lifetime Northern Lights opportunity. So it was by far the best I've ever seen in my life. Hopefully, it's not the best he ever sees in his life because he's still young. But it was a really cool opportunity. I hope we get more opportunities like that. I also wonder, in this modern era of instant notifications on the internet and technology in the cell phones that's crazy, camera technology that's crazy, I mean, maybe there are more of these events than we've known about in the past, because before the internet, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to call up your buddy and, hey, go outside and look at the northern lights, but you're not going to be hundreds of thousands or millions of people are not going to be finding out at the exact same time, like what happened with this event. So maybe, you know, in the future we do have more of these and get out there again. The one thing I want to do different is I need to, this is going to guarantee we never have this good Northern Lights again, but I need to get out and have compositions pre-planned out. I need to go there in the daytime, in the nighttime, ahead of when I have time to look and think about it. We literally went to the first gravel road at the top of the hill north of Omaha, looking north, and then took a right on the first county road at the top of the hill, and we're standing in someone's cornfield. It's cool because it's my son and I, but if it wasn't us, it'd just be a big barren field. You got some car headlights, some city headlights, Cargill's really bright factory lights in the background there. But I want to have a spot that, okay, the northern lights are supposed to be happening, or they are happening. I need to get in the car and drive to this spot and know where just to go and set up and start shooting, and not fumbling around in the pitch black on a gravel road in the north of Omaha trying to find a spot as the northern lights are happening. So you know, I'd really like a composition where it is this open, and then it has maybe like a giant cottonwood tree kind of framing one end of it or something like that, or a really shallow pond that's most likely to have calm water, where you can get a reflection, maybe a reflection of the pond and a tree, something like that. I just need to have 4 or 5 spots that I know where I'm going, and I can just go as soon as I see there's northern lights, go. But all in all that to say, I'm still, this is one of my favorite photos of the year, and my son, he was extremely happy to be there too, so it made it a little more special. The last photo was from December, and this is an Omaha skyline photo taken, I don't even know how you would describe this. There's a place in Council House called Narrows Park, and this is north of Narrows Park. Narrows Park is a really cool park right on the river. I mean, Narrows Park is in the foreground of this picture, but Narrows Park is only open from sunrise to sunset from like May to October or something. Very limited hours. So this is actually outside the park on a county road, at a little high spot in the road where you can look over the levee and see downtown Omaha and the river. One of the things I've always liked about this view in Narrows Park is I'm a railroad fan, you know, and this has the old Illinois Central swing bridge in it. You got the swinging span on the left side of the picture, and you have the permanent span on the right side of the, well, basically the middle and middle right. So, and this just had a really nice sunset. I was out taking pictures. The sun was starting to go down. It was just had a really nice warm cast to it, and I was just trying to find somewhere where I could get a picture with the sun somewhat behind the city, and as you can see in this picture, the sun is just starting to set behind some clouds, and when I was out scouting for this picture, I couldn't even tell there were clouds on the horizon. The sun was so bright up there, and then as it started to set into, you're like, oh wow, and it basically cut the sun in half, and then within a minute or two of this, the sun was gone, the light was flat, and just wasn't a good picture any longer. So a lot of this was right place, right time. I don't think I could have left my house and got to this spot. Just lucky that I was already out looking around, and then kind of pieced some things together with the angle of the sun and a little local knowledge of where I needed to be. So Cool picture. Again, the Mutual of Omaha Tower in this one is way further along than some of those early pictures I showed you. This one, the elevator, the central core, the elevator shaft, that area is completely topped out. The steel is only about 4 floors from the top in here, and then they're already putting glass up, 10 floors behind that. So I'm guessing by this time next year that building will be fully enclosed and the crane will be gone, and it'll be a whole different skyline. So I think I've brought this up before, but either in 2026 or maybe late 26 and 27, I'm going to have to redo all the Omaha skyline pictures I've taken over the years to update them to have all the new elements of the skyline in there. So, well, I hope you all enjoyed my favorite 10 photos. Like I said, I could have done my 10 favorite sports, my 10 favorite wildlife, but I just stuck to landscape and cityscape type pictures. And hopefully in 2026 I get out to do a little bit more. 25 was crazy. I cannot believe how fast 2025 has flown by. Between full-time job, pretty busy photography business, 2 kids that are both in activities. It's just we're go all the time. We got done with all our Christmas activities, and I think it was the Sunday after Christmas. My kids were actually like, "Hey, we don't have anything to do today," and that's the first time that's happened for a long time. So I know I took 2 naps that day and also laid on the couch and watched football most of the day. Kids just kind of bummed around, play with their friends a little bit. So it's nice having a little downtime during the holidays. And now 2026 is going to get off to a fast start, but hopefully by spring there's some time to do some fun photography and work on some new landscape and cityscape and other type of photos. So hope you all had a great holiday season. Hope you are going to hope everyone has a great new year. I'm actually recording this a couple days before the new year because it's going to come out on New Year's Day, and I just wanted to get it done out of the way. There could be one more photo this year, depending on if I'm able to find time and spot to photograph the fireworks on New Year's Eve downtown. So hopefully we get one more good photo shoot this year, but we'll see how it all works out. But like always, I appreciate everyone tuning in and watching these videos. Always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to email me, brad@bradwilliamsphotography.com. Leave a message down below. If you're really enjoying these videos and you're looking forward to my Colorado ones, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when they come out. But thank you everyone for everything, and hope you all have a great new year. We'll see you again next time.